Voting. It's something we all do all the time. It's something that we never really think twice about. It's something that we do whenever we want to decide what we're going to eat for dinner. It's something we do whenever we're on social media and there's a poll about something. But there's one type of voting that we hate the most, and it's probably the most important one that we can do. Our country is digging itself into a hole. It's deeper and deeper every single day. And that's because us, as the constituents of this country, have a tendency to not want to vote on issues that are extremely important. Stuff that we don't agree with gets passed because we never go and try to put our input in it. By digging itself into a deeper hole, we're setting up our future generations for things that they don't want just as much as we don't want it. We should be making it a point to gain our independence and show that we are still the best country in the world. Our founding fathers found us in the 1700s on the basis of freedom and the right to vote and the right to have rights. Although some see it to not be important at all, it's extremely important, because if we ever want change in this country to happen, then we have to take action. Well, there will never be any changes made if we don't choose to vote. Americans have been allotted a grand opportunity to not just be given whatever high authority sees fit. We have been given a chance to make a difference and to have influence over what our government does and does not. That's why I come to you today. I come to you today to try and influence you to do something that is so important. With this grand opportunity and freedom we have been allotted, we have been asked to help serve our nation just by simply showing up to the polls and giving our representative democracy our input. We must stand up as Americans and vote to see change in our generation and for the generations to come. You are the chosen generation. We are the chosen generation that has such a powerful and strong influence on our country from now on to the generations to come. The first reason to do this is because it lets your voice be heard amongst all the millions of voices out there in this country. Voting, as I said, is extremely important, but a lot of people see often that their voice isn't heard because there is so many voices. Second, it's one of our civic duties. It's allotted in the Constitution. We've been asked by our founding fathers and by all of the government officials that we have to just go out and do something as simple as voting. And finally, because change is inevitable. If you make an effort to see it through, it will happen. My first reason was because it lets your voice be heard. No matter what circumstance you're in, no matter if you're living in poverty or you're the wealthiest and the richest that there are, voting is simple. It's something you can do, and it's something that can let your voice be heard amongst the millions and trillions of people out there. Unlike other countries that have an anarchy form of government or are communist and don't let their people vote, we've been given a chance to go support our representatives and our democracy and vote for those that we wish to see in office, we wish to see in the world making a change. Therefore, it's our option to go out and to make such a difference in this world. Voting can change many things, and it can allow you to have a voice amongst many other people. You may not be the only one in the world that feels a certain way. That's such a strange thought, that maybe I have an opinion that someone else has, and we can go out and we can make a difference in that way. So it is important to vote in an effort to affect change. A quote pertaining to this is that the right to vote, and in doing so, to provide our input to the future of our country, remains one of the greatest liberties as American citizens. And like I said, in other countries this isn't allowed. Think about communist China, where they're given what they have. They don't have a choice. They have to live an exact way. They have to pay an exact amount of money no matter what. Another quote pertaining to this would be, many in the United States today take for granted the power that is entrusted in us as citizens. Unlike many countries in the world, we have the power and the authority without the persecution to cast a vote for those who feel will best represent us in our government. my second main reason as to why voting is so important is because it's one of our civic duties that is extremely easy. Something that a lot of people in this country don't know is that there are many states that in fact allow you to register the same day that you vote. Now, that still seems like such a hard job, but compared to states such as Virginia, where you have to pre-register, it's really simple. There's also motor voter laws that were enacted by Bill Clinton, which allow us to, when we register our car for the year, you can register to vote at the same exact time. Now, like I said, in the state of Virginia, you have to pre-register before you go out to the polls. It's really simple though. You have to have a form of identification, you have to fill out some paperwork that asks for your birthday, where you were born, your social security, and I think even your email address. But all of these things are simple. They should all be in your foreknowledge. Therefore, voting is easy. And the next part of it is that you go to the polls so you can make a difference. A quote pertaining to this would be, "We have made this process so easy." Perry told us that in 2000 in one of his vast and great articles. Another quote is that it's easy to vote. Show up to your polling place today with proper identification and you can register on the spot, although be prepared to wait in some wards. My final reason as to why voting is so important is that if we want change to happen, we have to will it to happen. Something that I've learned in life in general is that no matter what you do, there's always a consequence. Therefore, if we want something to change, we're going to have to work for it.